Are you a twin flame in separation who has had valid spiritual experiences that indicate your connection is real, yet when you shared them with others in the twin flame community, you were completely dismissed and blown off and told that your experience was that of a false twin flame? There is a reason that this belief is so rampant, and there is a myth behind it that I'm going to get to the bottom of, so stick with me. I'm Cynthia Greer, spiritualist who works at the in-depth level of the soul. I am the author of Twin Flames Beyond the Veil of Illusion and Twin Flames Healing the Shattered Heart When Union Isn't Possible. I personally fund all of the work that I do. I am not monetized, nor am I promoted and sponsored by any organization. So, when you press those like, subscribe, and share buttons, you are greatly helping me, as it is a tremendous responsibility to get this kind of material out before the public when it isn't sponsored. Okay, so let's get to it. Twin flames, as you know, if you have been on this journey long enough, are not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter process. They can't be, because every soul connection is different, and every soul on this planet is at a different level of evolution. And some are at a much higher level than others, while there are those who are at the very lowest levels, who cannot come out of a dysfunctional way of living because they haven't developed their higher consciousness and connected back to the God source that created them. This idea, this romanticized version of a twin flame being so perfect that they would never, ever do anything to hurt you, stems from a very ancient belief that twin flames were created from the divine and that they were to serve on a very high level. Now, while this is partially true, the main part that explains why you have gone into separation and experienced so much pain in the process is because even angelic beings are given the opportunity to denounce God altogether and fall and not serve, even serve the dark force, if that is what they want to do. It is the same with human souls, or with angelic souls in a human body. And when this happens, that soul has been drawn down into the three-dimensional earth plane due to the pull toward the carnal, that desire to experience everything that is going to bring pleasure without the solid foundation of living by cosmic law. And the truth is, through the centuries, cosmic law, in its highest divinity, never changes. Twin flames were created to honor God first, and in doing so, they would indeed honor their connection. And that trickle-down effect would reflect in the kind of world that was created. Because twin flames were to be that example of a solid union between a masculine and feminine, a divine partnership that honored and cherished everything they were given on the earth. They were to be custodians of the earth. The animal kingdom, the plant and mineral kingdom, their families, their communities, all was to be honored and lived with complete trust, ethics, morals, and integrity. And those teachings have been twisted. Excuses have been made for the behavior and the lust that reflects the world that we are currently living in, that we are indeed co-creators of. So, when you have one twin flame on one end of the evolutionary pole and the other on another end, you cannot create a functional life that is going to reflect what God intended. And because consciousness does not change just because someone is exiting the physical body, the way that life has been lived is reflected in the way the soul exits the body. So while it may have the awareness of mistakes and possibly repented for its deeds, it will go to the other side for a period of rest and the opportunity to be administered to in order to clearly see these issues. And when it returns to earth, to raise the soul into a higher evolutionary path and prepare for that ultimate unity, that conscious awareness with the Creator, it will take on the necessary experiences to raise their vibration. So, the twin flame, who is in complete awareness, knows it can't live a dysfunctional life, and is at a soul level understanding this, but maybe not quite there on a physical level. And this is where the anger and the resentment and the bitterness comes in. And then you get to the point where you even question. You say, how can this even be real? Because it's such a damaging, abusive, avoidant connection. But yet your heart, at a soul level, you are being told something else. You have that innate knowing that your connection has to find their way back to God. You may not be fully consciously aware of it yet, but you have that knowing. And you go through all of these stages that reflect your emotions during the times of rejection, abandonment, and abuse. And because you know it's not God's way, you begin to process it. And sometimes you do project your pain onto others who are trying to help you. But that too, once you awaken to the fact, is all part of your journey and your growth. This is the path that is going to lead you to ascension. Now, when those who are teaching about false twin flames speak of perfection, this part of it makes sense. Because in your perfected form, you and your twin would never do anything to hurt one another. But that is the ascended form, when you have completely attained immortality. You are never going to go through another physical death again, because you have overcome, you have mastered all of the lessons in the physical body. And you have attained that divinity. So the two of you move forward in evolution. Sometimes one twin does that before the other. They make that choice in a previous life that they never want to experience the kind of suffering that they have experienced again. And they choose the love of God, the dedication of God, over the desire of being with their twin. And this is the difference, because there are no false twin flames. God didn't create it that way. There are other people that bring lessons that reflect our behavior patterns, our level of consciousness that we were at when we made the choices that we did, that in many cases are very destructive, that cause a lot of pain. And when the soul has learned that and they've had enough, they are ready to move forward by not repeating them and staying in the willful, stubborn behavior that brought those lessons on in the first place. When one twin moves forward, they are a tremendous help to the twin that remains in the physical, sometimes for one or many more physical incarnations. But the emotions raise to a much higher degree in the fact that they are detached from other partners, marriages, children that may come from those unions. There is no hurt, resentment, or disappointment, because the love of God is all there is. And through those experiences, the twin that has been on the lower evolutionary end of the pole begins to make their trek back into the ascended form. And there is your answer to the angelic beings that so many people believe twin flames are, but unfortunately fall into illusion because they don't understand the process of growth, and that none of us are perfect in these physical forms. I know I'm not. I know I have a lot of learning and growth I have yet to do. I know that when I have completed it, I will exit the body. It's the same with all of us. I hope this has helped you today. I wish you so much love and many blessings.